Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our Gateway Virtual Rally. My name is Micki, and I have the privilege of serving as Notre Dame's Vice President for Undergraduate Enrollment. During tonight's conversation, we hope to celebrate with you, welcome you to this family, and address questions that you might have about the Notre Dame Gateway program. I'm delighted to be joined by three wonderful students tonight, and together we will share what we believe makes the Gateway program so special. And our hope is that we can answer as many of your questions as our time together permits. Now, I'd like all of these incredible students to begin by introducing themselves. Gage, you want to go first?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Gage Wooden. I'm a junior, so I was a Gateway 2 years ago. Strategic Management and Political Science major from San Diego, California. And I'm excited to talk to you guys today.
Hi, everybody. My name is Brandon Byrne. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona. I'm a finance major. And yeah, I'm really excited.
Hi, y'all. My name is Madeline Agee. I'm from Houston, Texas. I'm an aerospace engineering major, and I'm super excited to let y'all know about Gateway.
All right, well, thank you. We're going to come back to you three here in a moment. But before we get into the question and answer portion of our evening, I would like to offer a few words to everyone tuning in, and that will begin with our absolute heartfelt congratulations, especially to all of the students, but also the grandparents, parents, siblings, and loved ones who might be joining you tonight. I want to offer that I understand that when you received your decision letter of admissions last week, in fact, you may have experienced, admittedly, a range of emotions. These emotions might have ranged from disappointment, maybe questions, perhaps some tears, and hopefully a whole lot of joy. But our hope tonight is that we can navigate these emotions with you. We'll do this together, and most importantly, we hope to welcome you to the Notre Dame and Holy Cross families. You see, in 2013, this program began, and it began with 17 students. Since the very beginning, the Gateway program has established itself as a truly student-centered experience that builds an inclusive and loving community with students who ultimately graduate as proud members of the Notre Dame family. And you, my friends, are the 13th class. The program has become so successful that we have grown the program from that 17 students to 75 students per cohort. I'd like to give some context, though, to the number of 75, because it is important that you hear from me on behalf of this university that you were invited to this highly selective program of just 75 students with authentic and intentional care, and in particular, a celebration of all that you have accomplished. You see, this year, Notre Dame received 35,400 applications. Of those applications, 3,200 students were admitted. That's 9% of applicants. And as you can tell from those numbers, the vast majority of our applicant pool, unfortunately, did not receive an admittance to the university. I'm hopeful that through tonight's conversation and the weeks to come, that you know that you have been invited into this family because you represent so much potential, so much other-centeredness, and the kindness, inclusivity, academic excellence, and care that this family represents. Now, many of you submitted questions in advance, and we will review those now. But I also encourage you, please submit new questions as we're going through the conversation this evening. We will have a chat moderator, Brendan Corsones, who you will all have the pleasure of meeting in the next couple of weeks. And Brendan will help us answer some of these and also invite us to answer some online. So without further ado, let's get to the stars of the show, our wonderful students. And Gage, we're going to start with you. So what I think we want to hear, first of all, is what was the transition into Notre Dame as a sophomore after your first year at Holy Cross?
Yeah, thanks, Micki. So, like I said, I'm a junior, so I've been on campus now for a while at Notre Dame. And it's been 2 years since my Gateway year. But the transition was awesome to Notre Dame my sophomore year. Everyone is so inclusive and cares about you so much. I just remember being so excited to get my dorm placement and then go to welcome weekend in Balmer Hall is where I'm at. And the welcome weekend was great. Football season was great. As far as academics, I was just very ingrained in Notre Dame's culture, and it was nothing but seamless for sure. So
wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. All right, Brandon, let's go to you. Can you tell us a little bit, so you're in your second semester here.
That's right.
What kind of activities have you gotten involved with? And are they at Holy Cross, or are they at Notre Dame, or both and?
I do a fair amount of activities at Notre Dame specifically. So I am a heavyweight boxer for Bengal bouts.
All
Yeah.
right.
So
How'd
I'm
that go this year?
Semifinals. And then-
Excellent.
yep.
That's awesome.
I faced a guy nicknamed Drago, which wasn't fun.
Wow.
Yeah, it wasn't great. But other than that, I work at the local elementary school, St. Joe's. I coach chess every Friday, which I really love. I also am a lectern for the Basilica, so I read. And then I'm a writing center tutor here at Notre Dame. And yeah, no, I really love what I do. Yeah.
Okay, so getting involved at Notre Dame, at Holy Cross, and the South Bend community.
Yeah, I try.
Exceeded expectations.
I
there.
try.
That was beyond my question. Okay. Maddie, how about you? What all are you involved in?
Well, I actually walked on and I'm playing soccer at Holy Cross for this first year, and that has been such an amazing experience, and I've just gotten to expand my community even more. And then over at Notre Dame, I'm in Run Club, and I am also in Notre Dame on the Notre Dame Rocketry team. Shout out to y'all. It's the best club ever. And yeah.
Excellent. So one of the things that we feel really differentiates Notre Dame is our residential community. And obviously with the Gateway program, a lot of people have submitted questions in advance like, okay, we kind of knew how roommate assignments were going to work at Notre Dame, but how does it work in the Gateway program? So maybe I'll ask all of you to answer that, but I want to start with you and work this way this time because, Gage, you've now gone through both of these experiences, right, for a couple of years. So start with you.
Well, okay, so at Holy Cross, being a gateway, you kind of get the privilege, I would call it, of being able to pick your roommate. But not everybody does that. I personally didn't. I went random because I was like, oh, it's the Notre Dame way, and I kind of wanted to experience that a little bit more. And so I went completely random, and I ended up getting placed with the Gateway, and she's my best friend. It could not have worked out any better. Our room is so cute. I look forward to coming back and just talking to her every night, and it literally couldn't have worked out better. And our dorms are actually, some might even argue a little bit better than some of the Notre Dame dorms. So, but I couldn't have worked out better for me.
Excellent. How about you, Brandon?
I've also had a pretty great experience. So I chose my roommate. I came to the visit day, and on day one, I was just talking to a buddy that I knew about walking onto the team, and another guy overheard, and we just kind of connected. So we both had wanted to walk on, and so we teamed up, and it's been pretty great ever since. So yeah.
Very good. Excellent.
Yeah, I'll reiterate what they said about Holy Cross. I chose mine at Holy Cross. It was a great experience. I'm still like best friends with him today. And then when I got to Notre Dame my sophomore year, it's randomly assigned as your sophomore dorm assignment, but I was one of the few lucky ones that got placed with a Gateway in Bomber. So my first Notre Dame roommate was a Gateway that I was close friends with the year before. Caveat, that does not happen all that often, so I was very lucky with that. And then as far as this year, I'm in a quad. It's actually a cool story, and I'll get into it later, but when you come to Welcome Weekend at Notre Dame as a sophomore, you're in the transfer Welcome Weekend. And something you don't probably think about now is how you'll be with other transfers from other schools. And my quad I'm in this year is everyone I met from that transfer weekend from other schools, and the best man at my wedding one day is my roommate now, and we both transferred in as sophomores. So yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, good story for sure.
You will hear, everyone tuning in, you will hear, I think, a consistent theme of friendship and relationships and community tonight, and then as you, if you do the visit day and some of the other experiences. Okay, so let's talk about actually getting into the discipline of study or the college that you're interested in. Can each of you talk a little bit about how has that process gone? You apply for one thing to come to Notre Dame, you get into Gateway. How do you pick your classes? How do you matriculate into the college you're interested in, especially Mendoza? I think that'd be good for you to talk about, Gage, because you're in it now. Shout out, Gage is in my class in Mendoza and an awesome student. But I am curious, and I think everyone's curious, how do you go about getting into that college and selecting courses?
Yeah, so I'm a double major as well. So like Micki said, I'm in Mendoza, and then Mendoza's a little different, and I know we didn't really talk about this last year, but I know you guys are gonna have a lot of questions about that, how to get in and whatnot. But your advisors will tell you what schedule you need to have, what classes you need to take in order to put yourself in like the Mendoza shoes. And the advisors are great for every college. I know you can speak to that as well. And they'll set up the schedules and everything. And then, yeah, like both Holy Cross and Notre Dame are great schools, great teachers, and like academics. So you won't feel behind, and you guys are great students as well. So there's a reason you were admitted to this program. So as far as like workload, it's nothing new. It's what you've been doing, what you've been doing well at. So yeah, it's and Mendoza. I think my freshman year I took business stats was our gateway class, and then everyone who was applying Mendoza took that class, and I think you're also in finance right now. So yeah.
Good. You guys found it easy to get course selection and the courses that you wanted?
Yeah, no. So I am a finance or aspiring finance. So I take this set amount of courses, and then I also take one class at Notre Dame. So last year, or last semester, it was Intro Python and coding, and this semester it's Intro Finance, and I'm loving both of those classes. Something that I do think that hasn't been touched on yet is that since Holy Cross is such a tight-knit community, just as a college itself, the professors care so much because it's such a small pool. They all know you individually. They all know you by name. And it's really nice. Sorry. It's quite wonderful, actually, because you can talk to them. They all really care about what they do, and, you can tell they love it. So.
Yeah. It's good. How about you, Maddie? Things are going okay?
No, things are great. So as y'all know, Toby is the academic advisor for all the gateways, and basically what happened for me is when I went to SOAR over the summer, which I highly recommend, go to SOAR, guys. Even though you might be like, go to SOAR. It's great. That's where I met a lot of my friends today. And it was allowed me to kind of enter with already kind of like a group of girls that I was friends with. But at SOAR, I was with Juan at the time, but the academic advisor sat me down and was like, okay, so because you're a STEM major, your Notre Dame class is going to be this, and then these are all your like Holy Cross classes, and depending on like what track you're on, they try to set it up to be as on par with everybody else at Notre Dame. So I was taking like physics as an engineer. All engineers take physics, and then I was in the calculus for engineers, the calculus for science, and then just getting 2 core requirements out of the way. But they're
Very good.
I'm pretty on par with all my friends over at Notre Dame.
Excellent. Okay. Very important question. Food.
Ooh.
Okay. It's like the most important question for an
For
18-year-old, right? When you're okay. So, where do you eat your first year? And was that different then? Like when you came over, did you eat on campus at Notre Dame your first year? And do you eat in that same dining hall now as a junior? Or just tell us about the experience with food in your freshman year.
Yeah, so the dining hall at Holy Cross is Siggy's. It's a smaller dining hall than the ones at Notre Dame. It's run by the same company, though. I think it's just called
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame
Notre Dame dining.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's the same food. It's good food. I loved it. I also loved the proximity of Siggy's at Holy Cross. That's one thing when you come over to Notre Dame. You have to walk in the cold a few times to get to the dining hall, which is never like that fun. I'm from Southern California, so that's just how that goes. But the dining hall's overall great. I have a kind of a consistent diet of what I eat. But they have specials, and yeah, it's definitely like good food and does the
But
job.
you ate mostly at Holy Cross your first year.
Definitely because the proximity, though.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys same way?
For sure. I definitely eat majority of my meals at Holy Cross, but especially last semester because soccer was in full swing.
Yeah.
But now, like, sometimes, like, I'll purposely try, and, like, now that I've gotten more assimilated into also the Notre Dame community, like, I'll go and meet up with friends there. The grab and go. I don't know if you take advantage of grab and go. Oh, my goodness. Grab and go is the best thing ever. Also the huddle, in the huddle, the market there.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Good.
Also, can I say so? with Siggy's too, like you guys will find this if you commit to this program that you'll get so close with your fellow Gateway students. And I just remember my freshman year being like, it was very fun to go to the Siggy's at Holy Cross because we'd all sit together in a row. We'd all like share the best and worst parts about each other's days. And it was kind of like a community building place that I definitely get here at Notre Dame dining halls, but it's not really the same, I would say, because there's just way more people. So
There's always one long table, and it's like it's not even a question if you can go like sit. It's like yes, you just put your stuff down and then we all just talk. It's great. There's always somebody to sit with.
And I've heard the team in that dining hall loves you guys, right? Like, and it really is an extension of family in that dining hall with the staff as well, which is pretty cool.
100%.
A question was just posed that I think is a really good one that we should probably address. When you meet somebody, your first year, how do you introduce yourself?
I can take that one. So, yeah, like initially when you get to the Gateway program, it'll be a little awkward with a normal Notre Dame freshman. That's like obvious, and I was definitely worried about it when I was coming in. Like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna say? And I know you guys are probably in those similar shoes if you're thinking or committed to this program. But honestly, like, after a while, you just realize everyone's so supportive at Notre Dame and they care about you regardless of your path here to get here or here. And I never had anyone like not include me in something because I was a Gateway or make me feel less than or any in any sense. And honestly, this is going to be something that you guys don't believe me saying. I'm just going to say that before I say it, and you'll think I'm paid to say it. But there was a lot of Notre Dame freshmen, my freshman year at least, that I met and told I was a Gateway. And after a while, people get to know it and know the program and understand what it is and understand how close everyone gets to the point where they would say to me, like, I wish I was a Gateway instead of a normal Notre Dame freshman. Again, like, you definitely are sitting there rolling your eyes. Like, that's just literally something he was told to say and paid to say. But we'll like talk about more stuff throughout this whole video of like what Gateway truly is and how amazing it is, and it's only things you can come like experience and like we'll understand when you experience it, and that's one of those aspects as well. So
Tell them, you told me this earlier. You heard him say that last
Yes,
year, right?
I was literally sitting where y'all are sitting right now, watching this virtual rally with my parents, like, and I was still kind of grumpy about not getting straight in, and I was like, oh, like, I'm not gonna do Gateway, and then everybody, like, every person I had talked to talking about doing Gateway, like, wouldn't trade it for the world. Like, I would much rather have Gateway than, like, have gotten straight in. And so when you said that last year, I vividly remember you being like, yo, you think I'm paid to say this? And I was like, quite literally rolled my eyes. I was like, for sure. And now that I'm here, like, with less than 2 months, less than a month and a half, I'm like sentimental. It's so bittersweet. Like, I'm very happy to get over there to like the school of my dreams, but I'm really gonna miss this year because I seriously would not trade it for the world.
I think that something else to be said is like, when I talk to people at Notre Dame, the Notre Dame culture is amazing. And so as long as I say it confidently, like there's nothing to be ashamed of that you're a Gateway, all of you, I think we mentioned this, the Notre Dame had an acceptance rate of under 10% this year, okay? All of you are incredibly smart and gifted, and you're great, and you were handpicked. I was really worried. It was so trivial, but the graduation posts, like they have a page on Instagram where it's where you're going to college.
Yep.
And I was like ruminating over it. Like, do I post that I'm going to Holy Cross or that I'm going to Notre Dame? You are all Notre Dame students. Like, you are all exceptional at what you do. You belong here, and we would really love to have you. So, yeah.
Yeah, I just want to emphasize that. And again, on behalf of the university, we want you at this university. And to your exact point, you would not be invited into this program if we didn't believe in you, believe in your potential, adore you as humans, and want to celebrate you as you walk across the stage in May of 2029. Full stop. And that's why we're so genuinely excited for you and with you, and want to share these stories with you, because we are just absolutely thrilled with the opportunities ahead of you. Okay, let's go back to a couple questions. Talk about, you kind of mentioned it earlier, but the professors at Holy Cross and your courses at Holy Cross. Good experiences, care about you. Expand maybe a little bit more on the class sizes and how that experience is.
You want to take it?
I'll start with this one. I remember a month in, like, I just kind of had this crazy revelation. Holy Cross is inherently a really small school. I think it's like 500 students. And so I was like, oh, like kind of like, how are the professors going to be? Like, my calculus professor has worked with some insane people at NASA. Like, he's so well connected. He, like, in the middle of class, he'll randomly name drop some, like, thing he coded for some rocket that's in space. And I'm like, what are you even talking about? And you don't understand how much these professors care about you and want you to succeed. Like, even, like, it's not even like I got a bad grade, but, like, even, like, if I had, like, under, like, I performing, like, say I was getting like a 95s on something and then like I got a 90, they're like, hey, like, do you need help on this? Like, come see me. Like, and it just takes an email, be like, hey, like, I can't make it to the office hours these days. When are you free? Yeah. They'll work with you so much. And I came from a super small high school. My graduating class was 73, but the class sizes, like, are there similar sizes, like around like 20, 15 per class. It's great. Like, the professors, like, as you were saying, they all know your name. They all care about you so much. Like, they actually take the time to, like, get to know you as a person, and they all want to see you get over. Like, they all know about the program, and they all want to see you succeed. Yeah. And so it's great.
Yeah, I know this is kind of a shift from your question, Micki, but it's something to be addressed for sure. Gateway is a small program, and like you were saying, it's a tight-knit community in the classroom, everywhere, quite frankly. And that's like one of the biggest benefits when you come over to Notre Dame, because you'll be like super close friends with all the gateways, and you'll get, I didn't say this earlier when we were talking about dorm placement, but all your gateway friends will be placed in several different dorms, some in the same dorm as you. But that's a huge added benefit, because you'll meet they'll connect you with their friends that they make in their dorm, or like friends they had from high school. Like, a lot of us had friends from high school that we met and connected with other people as well. And it's just like a community that you make and then you bring over, and then it just builds on your community. So I'm sure a lot of you guys like to have a lot of friends, but gateways have a lot of friends for sure. So
Gateway students have friends in 31 other dorms their
Yes,
sophomore year,
literally.
which
Seriously.
very few students actually have and can say that, right? It's pretty cool. Okay, a very common question that we get is, how do you actually get from Holy Cross to Notre Dame and back to Holy Cross in a variety of seasons, right? The weather definitely changes around here. So why don't you take that one, Brandon?
I'll take it.
'Kay.
So we like to call it the Holy Hike. Holy Cross and Notre Dame, I don't know, I would say it's about a 5-minute walk from Holy Cross to Notre Dame. Being from Arizona, I was not really prepped the first time. They got real cold. So I was like, I got shorts, I can muscle through it. I could not muscle through it. But yeah, no, I actually love that time. I call my mom every time when I'm walking home, and it's just really great. I kind of catch up with her, and it's really nice to just kind of be alone by myself and walk back. So.
Did you walk it in the winter?
Yes.
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
Good. Did you, Gage? Tell the truth.
At my freshman year, we had scooters still, and
Oh.
those have since been banned on Notre Dame's campus, as well as Holy Cross, I believe. So that was an added benefit. So I can't really speak on the walk, because my buddies and we all had scooters, and we were going probably way too fast and scootering around campus, hence why they banned them for those reasons. But yeah, like, I will say, definitely, like, that's another area where gateways can get close as well, walking to and from Holy Cross. I remember, like, that Holy Hike being something where, like, some of the best times were that hike as well. So it's definitely another benefit as well.
It's good.
Another thing is that most first years at Notre Dame, you can't bring your car unless you have special circumstances. Well, as a gateway, you can, and I personally did. And the carpools that we would take to and from early morning chemistry, our 8 a.m. lecture, were some of the best times of my life. We would go get brunch after. Like, if you can bring your car, I would say bring it. But also the Holy Hike, like, my Jordan Hall of Science is the furthest thing from Holy Cross, and it was like a 20-minute walk. Not even bad at all. And seriously, some of the best times, like, we would like bring a speaker and like just walk all together, play music, call my parents, call my grandparents. And it's also like such a pretty campus. Like, if you just like walk and just kind of look around, like,
Yeah.
there's so many times where I've just been like how lucky I am to actually like go to this school and like be here.
It's great.
Yeah, I'll say another thing as well too. Like one of my most like vivid and clear memories from freshman year is I think it was way too icy to use the scooters at the time, so we all hopped on there's a school
Yeah.
bus
Bus,
system
yeah.
Sweet.
that goes through all 3 campuses around South Bend, and that was also like to her point like one of the most fun memories because there was probably 35 gateways on that bus, and we just like we're all in it together and had a great time. So
It's great.
yeah.
Brandon, why don't you take this one? What was orientation like?
Orientation, I felt really accepted. It was really nice just because that's where I kind of met everybody. You know, you meet everybody real quick. You know, something to be talked about is that, you know, for orientation for Notre Dame, I'm not harping on Notre Dame orientation.
Okay.
You meet pretty much your roommate, you know, and then maybe you have a couple of friends for the next few weeks, and then you slowly branch out. Being a gateway, you know, it's 75 right away. You know, that's just the way it is, you know. And so I've personally loved that because you just know so many more people on campus. Like one of my Notre Dame friends calls me big time just because I walk around and I know so many people. And that's just because there's so many gateways, and then you meet gateways friends, and it's a really nice experience.
That's good. Okay. Then fast forward to a year from then, right? And you transfer over to Notre Dame in welcome weekend. Give us a little snippet of what that was like.
Yeah, so as a transfer, they basically set it up, I would say, the same, it's pretty much the same way as a normal Notre Dame freshman. And I talked about this a little bit earlier, but you're also paired with transfers from other schools as well. And that's another area where you make more instant friends because you're actually, like, in that situation, a resource for them because you know the campus, you know people at Notre Dame, you know the gateways. So you're, like, confident coming into that scenario.
Yeah.
So they are, like, more than willing to become friends with you. So there's even more friends. It's all friends. But you do, like, the normal Notre Dame. They have, like, a dance, I want to say. You do your welcome weekend in your hall. So you meet, like, your rector, your RA, the people in your section. And there's a lot of fun, like, dorm culture things that come into play in welcome weekend and activities and stuff. So it's basically like you get the same experience as a Notre Dame freshman and some more friends.
That's good.
So.
Okay, so I mentioned in the beginning that, I mean, you guys had it. Everyone online today had a range of emotion when you opened your letter,
Oh, yeah.
right? And so not everything is, you know, beautiful and rosy every day. So to that point, like, were there things or have there been things that you legitimately feel like you've missed out on? If so, give us a sense of that. And if not, that's fine to say too. But I think people are just curious, like, is it really this great, you know? Or are there things that you feel like you're kind of bummed about?
I can start.
Yeah, why don't you start? And we'll go around.
Okay, perfect. So I would say at the beginning, you really have to accept it because if you don't, like, if you're always trying to be like, oh, the grass is always greener on the other side, you're never going to realize how amazing this program truly is. And I have a friend who now she's obsessed with Gateway, loves it. But for the majority of the first semester, she was kind of just dragging her feet, being like, oh, like, I want to be over there. I want to be over there. Like, you kind of have to, like, take a look around and realize that you did get accepted to Notre Dame. Like, you basically did. And it's like you have this amazing group of people that you're surrounded with, and like all these people want to see you succeed, and like it's this program for me has been truly nothing but positives. Like the only thing I could say I missed out on, and it was for like a month at the beginning of first semester, was like being when people are like, "Oh, what's your dorm?" and you're like, you're like, "Oh, I'm a Gateway." But then when people ask you that and you go, "Oh, I'm a Gateway," then everybody knows about that program and they're like, "Oh, that's so cool."
Yep.
Like, I know this Gateway, I know this Gateway, and you're like, "Oh my gosh!" Like, it's truly like literally nothing but positives for me. Truly.
Love to hear that.
Yeah, to her point, I think that, there is a disadvantage, I'd say, for like the first 2 weeks of freshman year because, you're meeting everyone on Notre Dame's campus and they just don't know what it is, And so you get a range of reactions and it's just like, it's how it is. But then, as time passes, I feel like the majority of Gateway students are picked just because they're good people, like if I can say
100%.
that.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
Okay, yeah, you guys are wonderful, And so
Seriously.
I feel like every Notre Dame student that I talk to, whenever I say I'm a Gateway now, is like, oh my God, do you know blank? Because every Notre Dame student has had a positive Gateway experience, and it really amplifies the program. And that's the reason why people talk about wanting to be a Gateway, It's because it's quite wonderful, like you're kind of known for being kind,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, not that I'm being more real, but there are some situations that are like, you're like, have to, I would say it's like different than a normal Notre Dame freshman. And the one I remember from freshman year was, I don't know if this still exists, but you have a different like card to swipe into the
Yeah.
dining halls.
Yeah.
At least I did when I was a freshman. And like, I just remember being a freshman thinking everyone in the Notre Dame dining hall is like looking at you and is like making fun of you because you have a different card swiping into the dining hall. And then you get over to Notre Dame's campus and you realize that literally no one cares.
No one cares.
Seriously.
So like, yeah, a lot of that stuff, there will be like awkward stuff in your head and you'll be like, oh, this is kind of weird.
Yeah.
But well, it's just you'll get over it and realize it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I love that you brought this up. I'll share with everyone on the line. I typically go over about a month into school and buy all the Gateway students pizza, and we go over to Holy Cross and we meet in the auditorium and we have pizza together and we just talk about like how's it going. And this dining hall thing has come up the last 2 years, where the students say, "Oh, what's this all about? We thought we could dine both at Notre Dame and Holy Cross." And yes, you can. But you have two different cards, right? Because they're two different systems. What I will say is, like, stuff like that feels so material in your first 2 weeks. And then when you have a month and a half left of your first year of college where it's gone so fast, you're like, wait a second, that is not a big deal at all, is it? But it feels like it is in that first couple of weeks.
I feel like that's also kind of like a metaphor to how Gateway actually is. Like you come, like kind of like you feel like you're so ostracized just because you have this label of like being a Gateway, and you feel like you're so much different from like an actual Notre Dame student. But in our whole cohort, I have only ever heard of 2 bad experiences of somebody telling somebody that they were a Gateway. Like any other time, like you either A, have to explain it to them, or somebody's like, it's so cool. And like any time that like, because when you, like I kind of joke about being a Gateway, being like, oh, like I just wasn't smart enough to get into Notre Dame, like stuff like that. Everybody kind of messes around about it. But when I do that with my Notre Dame friends, they're like, come on, like you go here. Like everybody is so supportive.
Yep,
It's great.
for sure. Okay, favorite memory of the last, 7 months, I guess, and favorite memory of the last 3 years. Gage, you go first.
Yeah.
like are you saying like from Gateway or just in general?
Well, I don't
In
know.
general? Well, I mean, as a Notre Dame student, I mean, you guys all saw probably, and maybe some of the reasons you guys applied. This football season was amazing, so we can just get that out of the way.
If none of you said national championship game, I was going to be really frustrated.
Yeah, I went down to the national championship, great time, with my dad. So that was definitely one of my favorite Notre Dame experiences. But as far as my favorite like Gateway experience, it was probably like the end of the year party. Again, like you've heard it and you think it's probably cliche by now, but all the experiences are amazing. There's like too many to count and too many to tell. But I remember the end of the year like party being one of my favorite moments, just because we all had gotten admitted, and like we had delayed gratification together in the moment, but also like stayed in the moment and had a good time together, and we all were like very proud of each other, and it was just a really good time because we knew we were going into Notre Dame together, and we took care of our business, and we were headed to Notre Dame as sophomores.
It's awesome. Celebrating together.
Yeah,
Brandon, how about you?
mine. So what I've really loved is that being a Gateway 12.0, you also get to talk a ton to the 11s and the 10s, and so the 11s and the 10s threw a party for us, kind of like welcoming us to Notre Dame. And it was awesome because that's really where I got really close with my friends. There's that stage where you're buddies, and then that's the time when you become friends, And that was a really great time because you got to like meet everybody and it was really intimate. And that's the thing too, is that all of you guys, if you choose to do this, will be talking to us, and like I feel like the communication's pretty great with that. So yeah.
Kind of stole mine a little bit, but then I would also say most like football tailgates, like we kind of all the gateways would kind of mob together wherever you were. Like I don't think y'all really understand, but you have a group of 75 people that you're best friends with, and like it's so fun. Like it makes honestly anything with them so fun, and like everything, like I'm like going through things and I'm like, wait, like I want to talk about this, like, but then it like also just makes like the walks fun, or like studying late night in classrooms, or like struggling to like finish this assignment for chemistry. Like it just makes everything so fun because you have like 74 best friends who are in the same situation as you.
It's good. Okay, 2 quick things. A question came in from Maddie around how amenable is Gateway for engineering students. Here's what I would suggest. We have a lot of prospective engineering students who've been admitted to the Gateway program. Super happy to answer that at the visit day. We can talk to our counselors. I would assume you've had a fine experience in that, though, and
It's
no
literally
issues?
No issues
Yeah,
at all.
there shouldn't be any issues.
No,
Yeah.
it's great.
Okay, good. Last question that we want to go around, and then I've got some closing comments. If you're on the other end of this screen tonight, right, what would you say to the individuals who are on the other end as they're considering, do they choose Gateway? And ultimately, by that choice, they choose Notre Dame, right? What would you have benefited from hearing if you were tuning in a year ago or 3 years ago? And what do you want them to hear today? You go first. Or you don't have to go first. We can go
'cause
somewhere.
nobody else
Okay,
go.
Gage, you go first.
Yeah,
How about
I
that?
can take it.
Sorry.
I mean, we kind of talked about this earlier, but I'm sure there's a lot of you sitting in where I was 3 years ago, just kind of like rolling your eyes at some of this stuff, and it sounds very cliche, like I've mentioned in the past. But all this stuff we're talking about and saying, and what Micki's described, is stuff that you won't understand until you come and actually experience it for yourself. I just didn't really like believe that as a 19-year-old or 18-year-old senior in high school, and my situation was a little different too because I'm a third gen Notre Dame student. So like I knew Notre Dame was home. I knew it was like the place I wanted to be, and I'm already looking at going into my senior year of college real soon, and this time. Like, Gateway year goes by really fast, but the time at Notre Dame goes by super fast as well. So what I would say to you in my final closing statement would just be like, if you're at all doubting the program, if you're feeling weird about it, how I was at the time, I would just say, again, all this stuff is stuff you have to experience for yourself to really understand, like, the power of this program and the family that is created from it. So come experience it.
Perfect. Brandon, how about you?
Yeah, for me, I guess when I was watching this, I'm a natural born skeptic. And so, when people said, you are going to make 74 best friends and you're all just going to skip over to Notre Dame and it's going to be amazing, I was like, I didn't
Yeah, right.
I didn't believe it. And, I get for other people that might not be the experience, but I know for me at least, like just by running the math, you put yourself in a way better position for success and to find like really great friends. Because like I said before, you're meeting 75 people immediately, you know? So like maybe 75 people aren't like all your cup of tea, but you're gonna find a niche or a group that you like, you know? It's like that's the part of the Gateway program, you know? And so like I kind of want to say again, like you guys should come to the visit days, come to SOAR, like just meet each other and meet us, and you could just talk to us, call us, you know, we're really available, and yeah, we'd love to talk to you. So
Awesome. Maddie?
All right. Okay. I would say is that you are so worthy of being here. Like, you deserve to be here. You were, like, I cannot even begin to describe how specifically you were picked, which I feel like for me, this was like a really big driving factor in what made my decision was your application is reviewed around like 3 times. Like, it is so, so hard to get Gateway. And it's such like, I have not met one bad person in Gateway. Like, it's like, I'm going to start crying. Like, I love it so much. This is like my family. These are my people. Like, you're so worthy of being here. And like, you may not realize, like, and it took me a long time to realize too, how special this program is. Like, you were chosen for a reason. And it's like, I cannot recommend it enough, and I think all of y'all need to say yes. And I really hope all of y'all do say yes, because this is an opportunity very few people get, and you should not pass it up. So yeah.
Excellent. Well, we'll close with a couple of comments. The first is I'm offering Maddie a position in the admissions office here in a couple of years. Great job. All
you.
kidding aside, I couldn't have said it better myself, and really want to extend a heartfelt thank you. Thank you to the 3 of you. You've taken time out on a Thursday evening and a week that's pretty stressful around this campus. There's a lot of assignments due. There's a lot of exams a couple weeks after spring break here, and really grateful for each of you, and so proud of you, and just really grateful for the role you play in the Notre Dame family, and really grateful to all of you. As Maddie said, and Brandon and Gage, we hope you do say yes. I can personally attest that after read all of your applications, you were handpicked. Yes, because of your academic preparation and potential, but as Brandon said earlier, frankly, more because of your heart. You guys all distribute the attributes that this university holds so dear, and I am immensely impressed and immensely grateful for your consideration of this. I do also hope that you come and learn more. You've heard all these guys tell you, come and learn, come and check it out. Tomorrow we'll have our first visit day. We'll have another on Monday, and we will have another on April 11th. And I do hope that you come and visit us, learn all about what this program is about, meet people at the University of Notre Dame, meet people at Holy Cross College, and I am confident that you will fall in love with this program and that you will fall in love with the people in it. So know of our heartfelt thanks, and God bless to every single one of you. We do hope to see you soon, and we can't wait to celebrate with you, as I said earlier, when you walk across that stage in May of 2029. God bless everyone. Take care.